Welcome everybody to the Team Next Generation call. It is June 14th, Wednesday, and tonight we've got a few things for you that I'm kind of excited to unpack with you guys. Before we get into them though, Deanna's got a little bit of housekeeping. So Deanna, do you want to share with everyone some of the housekeeping you got to talk about?
I was like, where'd my notes go right when you said that? I was like, oh, okay. So just a couple of quick reminders, housekeeping, things like that. Summit is less than a month away. Guys, super duper stoked. New Orleans, Big Easy, it's going to be awesome. So I think for many of you that are attending, this is your first time, and you're guys, just be prepared to have your mind blown. It's going to be amazing. There may be tears of excitement and happiness, maybe coming from me. I don't know, but it's amazing. It's fantastic. So I want to be sure that everybody that's attending Summit, be sure to send me your phone number, like your cell phone number, because I want to make sure that we have kind of a group message going on, so I can give the information of where we're going to be meeting for dinner and the tracks and working out and kind of connecting, because there's going to be like two celebrations. There's going to be kind of like the opening ceremony, if you will, and then the closing ceremony. So it'd be really cool to kind of sit together as a team, but it can be crazy in a good way, exciting way. And so I want to make sure that everybody sends me the contact information for their cell phone so we can all connect. So be sure that you private message me that. That'd be fantastic. Guys, anybody else here like super stoked for Shift Shop? And maybe a little scared too. I don't know, like a little bit. Guys, okay, so it's releasing July 12th. And they are having a sneak peek on Monday, June 19th. And so everybody needs to do that. No exceptions, okay? Because it's really important that, if you're going to be really excited, and like we always run a test group. So whenever there's a new program that's releasing, we always run a test group. So it's the one time that I say everybody has to be doing this program in my group. Other than that, it's like everybody kind of does their own thing. But this is the one time, because we're all kind of learning it together, right? We're learning how the nutrition works and how the workouts go and what people struggle with and what they love and what they maybe don't like. And at the end, it's the results, right? So everybody needs to try that out. So then when they're talking to people about their test group, then they can say, hey, here's what was really hard. Here's what was really cool. Because guys, Chris Downing is one motivated mamma jamma. He is amazing. He is just such like an energy. Like me talking about him right now, like brings me to tears, because he's just such a positive addition to the training team. So everybody needs to do that. I'm going to encourage you guys, make a video. Make some videos of you doing it. And then what you can do, you can use those little snippets in the 3 weeks leading up to it going live, right? So you don't have to share a whole video, but you might show like 1 or 2 quick moves. So people are, gosh, what's that workout? And I'll tell you what, test group coming up, check it out. So I want everybody to make sure that you do that. It's for all ability levels. When we worked out with him live in Punta Cana, he actually had a fellow coach that had pretty severe MS. He brought her on stage. She rocked it out the best that she could. She modified, of course, but that's the awesome thing. It's for people that are just getting their workout on, that may need to modify. And it's really a workout program for everybody, and even, a seasoned athlete. So guys, I'm going to stress that. Be sure to check it out. And I'm out. I'm done.
All right. Absolutely, guys. Honestly, when Beachbody releases a new workout, which they'll release 4 of them this year, they've already released 2 basically. Well, 1, and then this will be the next one. It is such, if you guys are trying to build a business, if we want to really, truly be able to help people, right, and a lot of people, these are absolutely vital to our growing our business. Like, not even just, they're like, hey, guys, here you go. Let me help you out as much as we possibly can. These things are amazing. Every time there's a launch of a major program, especially when they've brought in an entirely new trainer, and this trainer is going to be, it is a completely different experience than any other program that Beachbody has. You start to wonder, like, how can you switch up the routines? Because at what point is it just going to be, there's no other way to change it. There's no more workouts. We've already done everything that can be done. And then they go, oh, wait a minute, never mind. Hold on a second. We're going to bring this guy in who's going to approach it a little bit differently, but he's also going to approach the overall way we work out and our mindset and everything completely different too. It's going to be amazing. So utilize it. We are going to go live at some point in the team page and give you a step-by-step process, a literal post this on these days kinds of process for how we are going to promote Shift Shop as a program and as the test group, challenge group. So be looking for that. We're going to share that for sure, because we want to make sure that we don't just sit back and say, hey guys, this is what you should, this is a great opportunity, now go get it. We want to be like, hey, it's a great opportunity, and here's what we've done in the past that has been very successful, and we want to give you guys an action steps, kind of a roadmap to how to be successful with that. So be looking for that. We're going to do that soon enough. But make sure you do not everybody's got access, right? All the access pass. Everybody do that test workout, the little sneak peek, and definitely share about that. Get that excitement started going, because it's going to be an epic program. Okay, so what I want to dive into real quickly is the other day on one of our one-on-one calls, Tina was nice enough to share a couple things that she switched up in what she does on how she approaches the business. And she's been consistently hitting Success Club. I mean, she pulls it out at the end of the month. I mean, like, she's done really, really well, and she's been very impressive as a brand new coach. So I asked her if she would be nice enough to allow me to ask her a couple questions live here with you guys this evening, and kind of walk you through a couple things that she's learned. And she was gracious enough to let me do that, even though it made her nervous, guys. She's stepping outside of her comfort zone, and she's going to do it anyway. So I appreciate that, Tina. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and then I'm going to bug you with some questions. So hold on one second. Okay, so first of all, Tina, again, I want to thank you for having the guts to push back a little bit of the fear that associated with being on this call and actually doing this for me. So first of all, thank you for that. Second of all, let's get into some of those questions, okay? So
Sure.
When you first started coaching, how did you run your business? Like, when did you invite, not necessarily the process of how, but when did you start really, during each individual month, when did you kind of invite? Was it the beginning? Was it the middle? Was it the end? Like, what did it all kind of, your system look like?
Okay, well, I have to be honest. When I first started coaching, I was a hot mess. As far as inviting goes, I kind of took my time throughout the month. So I would have to say at the beginning of the month, inviting was very inconsistent. So I would invite here or there, maybe 3-4 days would go by and I wouldn't be inviting. And then before I knew it, it was the middle of the month, and I knew my challenge group would be starting at the very beginning of the next month. So as I was heading towards the end of the month, that's when I would start going crazy and just like sending out tons and tons of invites. So I'd have to say the concentration of my invites were really towards the very end of the month.
And tell me this, and guys, I can only imagine, like, because we would watch it. It was epic to watch, because you would see just at the end of the month, it was like 0 points, 0 points, 0 points. And then like the last week, 6, 8, you're like, what just happened in that week, right?
Right.
So how did that make you feel during that month? Like what was your mental state like going through that process?
Well, I could feel that I was getting more and more stressed. I felt the pressure of the end of the month coming closer and closer, and I knew I was not meeting my goal, and I was really trying so hard to get there. And I know that was coming across in my invites, even though I was using scripts. I know, especially in the follow-up process, I didn't have the time to go through with those questions and really get a feel for what the needs were and be able to answer questions. I think the real big aha moment was for me last month. Again, like I was getting in that routine of getting all my invites right at the end of the month. I found that I was kind of rushing the process, and I was getting people interested, and then I was sending out those orders, and the enrollment wasn't getting completed by the customer. It was kind of sitting there after I send off, so they had to complete the enrollment. It would end up just sitting there for like a couple of days, and I know I was in the last week before the end of the month, and I was like, okay, I'm running out of time, so I'd be feeling like I was putting all this pressure on the customer instead of taking the time to ask more questions and to follow through. So it was really stressing me out, and I was probably stressing customers out because I was doing it that way. So I just knew that there had to be a change in the way that I was doing the invites and become more consistent with it and come up with a different plan.
So can I ask real quick, right now, what is today? Today is I just said it, the 14th. Where are you at in the Success Club right now?
6.
Okay, so sorry, I got a very quick little hand of flies there. So you've already hit Success Club. Okay. Now,
yes.
Why did you, or how did your business, and why did your business change? Like why, I kind of recognize why you felt like it needed a change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how did you end up changing it this month? And what was the real push behind saying, okay, enough, I've got to do this?
Okay, I was just tired of feeling that pressure. I wasn't having any fun doing it. I just figured if I was going to be this tense towards the end of the month, this was not going to be something that I wanted to continue doing. So what I decided to do was just change the timing of everything. So my challenge groups, I've pushed down towards now the middle of the month. So now instead of working at the very last end of the month to set up for the beginning of the month challenge group, what I would do now is my challenge group starts in the middle of the month. So I'm working that last couple of weeks at the end of the month. And then I have a couple of weeks at the beginning of the month to get people ready for that new challenge group. So now I've got that 4 weeks where I can take my time, I can ask questions, I can get to know people, and then I'm not rushing to get them set into a challenge group right at the very beginning of the month. So that's one thing that I've done. The second thing I've done now is by the 3rd week of the current challenge group that I'm running, what I start to do is invite new people to a free group. So I'll have a challenge group and then a free group kind of running at the same time. So that's working out for me a little bit more. Also, now I'm just more consistent with inviting. I don't just start inviting the last 2 weeks before my new challenge group. What I'm doing now is just continuing to invite constantly and just making sure that every single day I'm doing invites.
So, and that's epic, by the way. Okay, we'll talk about it in a second. So tell me this. Now that you know you've already achieved Success Club, right? And what's
Yes.
your typical goal for the end of the month? Like what is your normal goal?
Like Success Club 5 for sure.
Perfect. So you've already achieved your goal. It is the 14th. Your goal is done. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, 2 questions. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you these or anything like that. And so I'm going to jump on here. 2 questions. First of all, how do you feel now? Do you feel that you see any difference with your invite process or your follow-up process now that you've already achieved your goal and moving forward? First question, do you actually notice any difference in your invite process?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel now like I've hit my goal for this month, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping. It just means I get to continue with those invites, but I get to take the time to ask the questions, to build those conversations up, build that relationship a little bit more and really get a good understanding of who I'm working with. So I'm more relaxed with it. So now I know that people I'm talking to now aren't going to feel that sense of urgency anymore. They're not going to hear that come through the messages that I'm sending. So even though I'm more relaxed, I'm not stopping. I'm still staying consistent. So
awesome. And have you noticed any difference? And I honestly don't know what the answer to this is. Like you may not notice or noticed, right? Do you notice any difference in the responses you're getting now from people?
I do. I feel that I'm getting more response back. Before, when I think I was just, I wanted to get to a sale almost. I hate saying that because I don't want to admit that that's what it was feeling like. It was more like I was salesy and they were feeling that same way too. So they would cut out on me. They would stop talking. The responses, whittled away. And now I just find I'm continuing conversation. So that is one major change that I'm feeling, that people will continue to talk to me that now that I'm not really pushing towards something. I'm getting to know them a lot better. So
that's awesome. So first of all, can we just give Tina a big round of applause? Honestly, because I know how hard it is to step outside your comfort zone and do something.
Yes, it's a big time.
Yeah, I think it's epic when somebody will actually take that chance. I mean, I think it's great. And I really, really, really appreciate the information. And guys, what I want to hit on real quickly, a few things that she did, which I love. First of all, if you notice, she always has a goal. But beyond that, there is, like in her mind, this is the way this works. There's no option to not hit the goal. It's like, I've got to make it happen, right? which is great and scary at sometimes, because then we find that we allow ourselves, and we all do this. The reason I wanted, and Deanna wanted Tina to talk about this right now, is because this is the exact same thing that we did when we started. And this was the exact same thing we did for probably over a year and a half, a couple years. Until we finally figured out, wait a minute, we can't spend the entire month kind of just, I'll just wait until the end of the month. I've still got another week. I've still got 2 weeks. I still got this. And then all of a sudden, push come to shove, and you're like, crap, I can't not hit this goal. We got to do it. Now what are we going to do? It causes stress. It causes anxiety. It causes everything to come through in those messages, pushiness and salesiness to come through in your messages and in your follow-ups. And if you think it doesn't, you just don't recognize it. I guarantee it does. Literally, if you are copying and pasting a response, it comes through because of the timing and how quickly you're following up, or the way you're following up if you're not copying and pasting it. But little do you know, it comes across. It's like people smell it, right? So what we need to do is, the minute we started figuring out, you know what, the 10th or the 20th, really the 10th for us is our goal. Like, that's the time, that's the end of the month, okay? Now, what I loved about what Tina said, though, is she hit it dead on the head. I don't push for the 10th and then go, okay, now we've hit the goal and now let's stop, right? I got a goal, I'm good. Now I can relax and then pick it up again, because all you're doing, before at the last week of this month, and so I'll hit my goal for the 10th of next month, because then you're right on that same bit of track, right? You're just pushing the timeline a little bit, but you're still in the same mindset. As long as you're staying consistent and doing it, then you're going to find that you're not going to have to, you set your goal after the 10th and you stay consistent all month long and just use that as your goal. That way you're not going to be overwhelmed or frustrated or freaking out or pushy or salesy unbeknownst to yourself, because you're stressed out because it's the end of the month and what are you going to do, right? So I love that you changed your day. You said, okay, I've got a goal. I've got to hit here. Well, this is how I'm going to hit that. I'm going to put something in my, a goal out for me to hit that goal. That goal is I'm going to start a challenge group. Okay, well, I'm going to start a challenge group on this day. Wait a minute, that means that I'm waiting until the end of the month to invite, or that's my push. I'm going to move that challenge group into the middle of the month. And that way I can actually take that as my goal, right? And that forces me to start inviting before that, so that I don't wait until the very end of the month to try to hit that goal and start freaking out. So I love that you did that. The whole point of all of this, really what this encompasses, is it's an idea of posturing. Right? When we go into conversations, the way we posture ourselves in that conversation is going to change everything. I used to be really good about talking people into coaching. Like, I was really good about getting somebody and then just, hey, I'm going to make you coach in my mind. It was almost like a stupid challenge I had on myself that I just want to see if I can talk them into coaching, and we need it. So this is what I'm going to do. Right? And I can tell you right now, looking at these faces, not one of those coaches is still here. Every single one of those, rightfully so, quit because it was me talking them into it. The posturing was completely wrong, right? If we posture yourself with confidence in what we're doing, and we can sit back and not stress about hitting a goal because we're waiting until the last minute, right? If we're posturing ourselves like that, people are naturally going to come to us. Okay, this is going to be really bad, guys. So I don't even know. Part of me doesn't even want to say this, right? I'm on the fence on it, but relate it to the popular kids in school, right? Remember the popular kids in high school? You know why they were popular? They were popular in high school because they didn't care about anybody else. They're like, whatever, I'm just cool, right? But people kind of naturally gravitated towards them, right? It's that kind of same thing. We kind of have to be able to put ourselves in a place where we really, not that we don't care if somebody says yes to the invite, but we don't care if they say no. Does that make sense? Like, it's not a matter of I don't want to help you. It's a matter of if you say no, it's okay, because I don't have a timeline that I have to hit, or I don't have all this pressure on me, or I don't have like oh my gosh, if I don't sell this, it's not going to, my life is not going to work, right? We have to be at a place where we go, you know what? It's okay. If you say no, that's good. Maybe next time it's cool. And if you say yes, I obviously want to help you. So it's not like I don't care if I can help you, but I don't rest every bit of my business on you saying no. Like, okay, now I'm distraught because I waited all this time to invite, and now I'm not being consistent, and now I've got 5 days and I got to hit this goal. What am I going to do? Right? So that's really, really what we wanted to kind of get across is, we want you guys, obviously we want every single one of you to be successful. Like that is our goal here. That's what we want for you guys. Okay. It's not a scenario where we want it just because, you know, it helps us. We want it because all of us here are paying this forward because we got incredible results from the products, and we want to help other people get those same results, right? We all have that caring kind of heart, that helping heart. We all are like that. Same thing goes for the business. And for me, it's even stronger when it comes to the business, because I'm like, I want everybody here to get everything you've ever wanted from it. And I damn well know what it can be because I've seen it. And I've seen, even just in the small amount it's done for Deanna in my life, but I've seen it in other lives. I know what the potential is, and I know what you guys can achieve by it. So to me, it's extremely strong. We want you to be 100% successful. So when we tell you that we're doing, you know, hey, I want you guys to do this, it's not telling you because, hey, I want you guys to do this because I want us to be successful. I want you guys to do this because I know what it's going to do for you, right? And I know how it's going to help you. Setting your goal for the 10th of the month and saying that's the end of the month, I need to hit this by the 10th, that is going to free up so much of your anxiety and frustration and potential of wanting to just say, I can't do it anymore because there's just too much going on. It's going to change everything. You start getting in a place where you will find, and I know it's going to sound like a big goal at first, 10th of the month, like I can't hit Success Club by the 10th of the month. That's insane. You'll find yourself doing it if you start being consistent now. The thing is, it might take you, maybe it's not going to be this month, maybe it's not going to be next month, but if you're consistent every single day with those invites, with those follow-ups, with those daily vital behaviors, and you show consistency and you detach yourself from the outcome and attach yourself to the, I've got this process finished, right? Attach yourself to that. You do that every single day, you will start finding that, oh my gosh, I am hitting it by the 10th. This is weird. What's going on? I am hitting, and it, because you'll start lightening up the pressure after that, if that makes sense, right? We also, I know Deanna the other day posted in the team page and she asked you guys, hey, what are you guys struggling with? Where are the concerns coming from? And a lot of you, and this is interesting to me, a lot of you posted, answered with invites, follow-ups, conversations. You know, a lot of you, they came up, you guys came up with similar things. They were all kind of different, but they were all very similar, right? So here's the biggest thing. When you look at those, here's what's interesting. What I want to kind of point out, or maybe challenge you to think, is how many of you that had, let's say, problems with invites or follow-ups, how many of you struggle with the actual I don't know what to say versus the time I don't know how to get the time to do the invites or the follow-ups, right? How many people, would you guys be willing to raise your hand? If you struggle with invites, follow-ups, you know, starting new conversations, how many of you struggle with the actual time to do them more than the actual process itself? Anybody? Okay, so Dana, okay, so a handful of you. So actually a lot of you. So it's kind of the majority of you. Here's what I would like to shine light on and see. And some of you are going to disagree with this, and it'll probably actually piss some of you off. So sorry, I'm just going to take it now. Here's the deal. The time management, we can create the time management. I can give you guys the skills for the time. We can tell you how to break down the time. We can give you a schedule of when. We can work individually with each and every single one of you and say, what is your schedule today? What do you have during the week? What does your typical week look like? When can you break these times? Here's how you do these in these segments to get them done, right? Like all of that stuff can be done. At the end of the day, and I know this because this is exactly what Deanna and I did. I'm not telling you guys, I'm not trying to chastise you guys for something like we have never done it. The reason I know that this is what's going on is because this is exactly what we've been through, right? The reason that you guys are struggling with that time management really has nothing to do with actual time management. It has everything to do with your belief that you can be as successful as you think you want to be with coaching. Because I can tell you right now, the reason I say that is the second you believe without a shadow of a doubt in your mind, holy crap, everything that I thought this could be, not it can be done, I can actually achieve that. The second that shifts for you, you will figure out the time in a heartbeat. There will be no time management. You will work until 1 o'clock in the morning if you have to. Whatever it has to happen, you'll figure out a way to do it. But 9 out of 10 times, closer to 10 out of 10, it's just 100% the belief. And I know this because this is what Yana did. In my mind, we believed that we could. Like, I truly believed that we could do it. But all of a sudden, we took 6 months off. It was because deep down, I realized that everything else was coming up, right? We had a house that we were building. We had it was house we were building. It was the holiday season. It was work, busy kid schedule, trying to move, like all of this stuff going on at once. And to us, it was like, oh, we just don't have time to do this. But when I figured out that day that we were actually like, holy crap, we both realized, wait a minute, now I realize what this is and we can do it. All of a sudden the time management changed. We had to sit down, we had to talk, and we figured out when are we going to treat this we got to treat this like a business. And we recognized that we were treating it like a hobby and it was treating us like a hobby. But the second we realized we can actually do this, it became a business. And we were like, you know what? You don't show up. You don't like choose if you show up to work or not. You show up to work. And if you can't figure out how, you figure out how because you know you have to. But you also believe deeply that if you show up to work, you're going to get a paycheck because you signed on to that business, right? You're going to be successful at what you expected to do. You know it because you got hired. This is the job you got hired for. Coaching is different. We have to learn that belief. It's not something that just is automatic like, hey, yeah, of course you just believe this. It's something that we have to actually learn in ourselves. Like, wait a minute, no. Each of us is individually capable of achieving whatever it is we want to achieve. So I don't want to harp on you guys about that. And if it's a time management thing, you're like, okay, great, I believe that I can, but I just need to figure out how to make this function in my time. Great, we'll sit down with you and walk you through a process on how to do that, right? But it's a time management thing. It's not, there's scripts, there's all sorts of things to learn how to kind of like talk to people. That's pretty straightforward. It's just when do you do this stuff during the day? But it doesn't matter if we give you those steps if you don't in your heart believe that you can do it because you're still probably not going to do it. It's kind of like getting somebody into a challenge group. We can tell you the steps and we can give you the time, but you have to believe that you can see change and that you can be successful because until you do, you won't complete it. You know what I mean? Like you won't complete the program. I think we all can recognize that. Babe, is there anything that you wanted to add? Sorry, I just saw these things coming through my phone.
I want pizza. I didn't have dinner again. Wednesdays.
Do you want pizza?
So no, one of the things I really wanted to share, and Tina, thank you so much. Like, guys, when we talked to her on Saturday, she had a new like fire and a new spark and a new excitement that, you know, because this business, it's super simple, right? This business is really simple. It's just not always easy. And I think it's not always easy because we're making it more difficult than it needs to be, right? Like the saying, commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. I know that I'm like, I don't feel like inviting right now. I don't feel like going live. I don't feel like doing this. But we can't grow a business on feelings, right? We have to say, okay, what do we want out of this business? And yeah, I don't feel like going live right now, or I don't feel like putting on my smiley face because I'm really super tired. But you know what? This is a business and it's a killer business and it's an amazing business. And I'm so fortunate to be a part of this business that I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to put on that smiley face sometimes when I'm super tired. And I'm going to, you know, go live in my group and share and be vulnerable and do those things that I might not feel like doing, right? I don't want to invite today. Okay. But really at the end of the day, like if I bust out my daily actions, I can do it in 30 minutes. Like if I'm super intentional, I can bust out what I need to do in 30 minutes, right? And so I think that we just kind of make it more difficult than it needs to be because we don't feel like it. But what I love is Tina's, you know, excitement and mind shift about the consistency. Now she finds, you know, like if you guys have read the 12-week year, it's kind of the same premise. Like, you know, you January 1, right? You're like, I've got all these goals, but I've got a year to hit all these goals. This is going to be amazing. 2017 is going to be awesome. It's January 1st. I got 365 days. And then before you know it, it's like November. And you're like, wait a minute, I didn't hit any of my goals. And then you're busting your buns to try to hit those goals. And then it's stress and chaos. So why not sprint at the beginning of the year? So you can kind of jog and leisurely just enjoy the rest of your year. And same with Tina. You know, she's like, she kind of changed what wasn't working for her. She was, for one, she's extremely coachable, which is amazing and awesome. You know, she asks questions if she has them. She has a belief and she knows that it's not going to be overnight, but she's like, okay, well, what's working for me? Awesome. What's not? I'm going to tweak it. And, you know, okay, well, having the stress at the end of every month and not being consistent really wasn't working for me. So let's be consistent at the beginning of the month. And now she's hit her goal that she sets for herself. And so it's going to be a breeze. And what's naturally going to happen is she's going to exceed that goal every single month, only because it's taking that pressure off. Because like Justin said, we did the exact same thing. I run my challenge groups the third Monday of every month, like clockwork. So I know I have 2 weeks of inviting and getting, and helping people and talking to people. And so my goal is always to hit Success Club 10 by the 10th, always, and that's also why I chose to start giving an incentive every month. And I know some of you guys are recognition based versus incentive based, which I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how that works. Because I'm very like, hey, give me the pen. I want to win the pen. I don't know. I'm weird. But, every single month, Beachbody gives us amazing rewards and incentives for helping 3 people, right? That's Success Club 5. That's helping 3 people with the challenge pack. So if you guys hit your goal by the end of the month, that's awesome. Beachbody rewards you for that. But we want to reward you guys for showing up in your business at the beginning of the month. So every month, like I did this month, you hit Success Club 5, which should be your minimum goal, right? If you hit that by the 10th of the month, you got something for us. Every month it's going to change, right? But I think it's really important to kind of sprint at the beginning of the month so you're not having to stress. And so, of course, Tina earned that because she hit it by the 10th of the month, which is awesome. And so I have another incentive that whoever hits Success Club 10, that's helping 5 people each month, by the 20th, we'll receive another incentive, because I really feel the importance of working on your business at the beginning of the month, like Tina shared, so you're not stressed. So those conversations flow more naturally. So you're not feeling salesy, because I was in the exact same spot. None of us want to be salesy, and we don't want salespeople on our team. But when you have that sense of urgency, you automatically kind of turn into that, like subconsciously, right? So I really want to share the importance of that. I love that you shared that you started doing a free group. I think that that's fantastic, because what that's doing, free groups are incubators for future customers, because you're providing value. You're showing how awesome. You're like, hey, I'm giving to you. I'm providing you with meal plans. I'm providing you with workout ideas, whatever it is. But it's your opportunity to build relationships in mass, if that makes sense. So you're able to get them all together and support them and love them and get to know them, and they get to know you. And then they're naturally, not everybody, right? But some of them are naturally going to want to go into your next group. But if not, those are people that are going to be in your group maybe 2, 3, 4 months down the road. So I love that you kind of learn that. And guys, she's a busy teacher and she's got a lot going on. So it's not like she's got all day to run her business. She's, end of the school year is like crazy time, I think. So she's making it happen. Totally off topic. I just wanted to share, we met with corporate last week, and they shared that out of there's 400, I think there's like 450,000 coaches or teams.
Okay, yeah, 450 some thousand.
Yeah. Out of that, our team, guys, you guys all, we're number 274 in the network, which is pretty awesome. And so you guys need to really recognize yourself and know that the lives you are changing is really impacting and making a difference. And just even the conversations, even the value that you're providing on your social media is really impacting lives, whether you know it or not. So I just kind of want to recognize you all for that, because that's really, really phenomenal. So be proud of that.
Absolutely. And then we'll open up to questions. But the last thing I just want to say is I don't want you guys to think like I wasn't trying to be harsh on you guys, or like say that you guys are wrong for if you feel like you don't know that you don't have 100% of that belief. It's not to say that you're wrong for it at all. It's to say that it's a very natural thing that new coaches go through, that they don't totally understand that no, you are totally capable of it. So I know that we went through it. I know tons of people, most every coach struggles with it. So it's more to tell you, look, really take a deep look and realize, hey, look, you know what? You can. Every single person on this call, every single person that watches this call on the team page literally has the ability to do anything you want with Beachbody. Literally. I hate that. Literally. You actually really, really do. Whether you recognize it or not at this moment, you totally do. And the minute you kind of come to terms with that and fully understand it, everything is going to change for you. Everything is going to change for you. So we just want you to know that. Like, that was kind of my purpose in trying to tell you that, was to make you understand, like, I don't want you to ever think that, well, I'm not sure, even subconsciously think that, because it doesn't do anybody any good. You or the people that you have the ability to help, right? Or your family or anybody. You have to understand that you absolutely, the top coaches in Beachbody are not special. Like, they're not different than anybody else. And like, we all, I think, have to get that, like, really understand that. They are just people that just did it consistently for a little bit longer or a little bit more. That's it. That's all they did. You can do it too. We all can do it. You know, and I tell you guys that, also needing to tell myself that, because there's times where I still go through doubt, like, damn, man, really? Like, are we sure? We've got these big goals. Like, are we sure we can hit them? Like, we have to constantly tell ourselves that. That's why we preach about personal development so damn much. It's not because it's fun for us. It's because this is the only thing stopping us from being as successful as we can be. So does anybody have any questions about anything, inviting, following up, the process, time management, anything at all? All you got to do is just like raise a hand or flip me off. I don't know, whatever. Throw your dog paw in the air if you got a dog. I know I see some dogs in there. Throw some paws. No, nothing. Everybody's good. Okay, I was giving it like a last little second. All right, then. So then be looking out. We're gonna go live on the team page soon enough. We'll let everybody know, and we're gonna give you guys action steps on specific, literally post these days about this. We won't tell you copy and paste, but we'll say here's the subject matter to be posting on. Go live on this day, or share about transformations on this day from the Shift Shop. We'll give you as much information as we possibly can about that, but do get ready. Do make sure you set into your calendar the day that Shift Shop releases the test or the sneak peek. Get into your calendar right now that you're going to be doing a video about that and posting about it. So don't just let that fly by. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Otherwise, if there's no other questions, again, Tina, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. I really, really, really do appreciate that. Thank you, everybody else, for being on the call and taking the time out of your nights, because I know we've all got stuff to do. So you guys have a fantastic night. Everybody eat well. We will see you guys in a couple Wednesdays. See you guys soon. Bye, everybody.